Now, I done seen some harebrained schemes in my day, but this might be at the very top. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot threatening to sue gangs over the violence happening in the city. Now, I don't know how she's going to go about doing this. I mean, is there a 1-800 number for the vice lords or gangster disciples? Can you get the senior vice president of gang banging on the horn and say, hey, you guys are doing too much shooting and killing and thugging and drugging, so we're going to sue you? How is that going to work? Are you just going to go out there on the street and find some random 14-year-old that's dark-skinned with a white T-shirt and some dreadlocks and be like, get him? There's no phone number for their organization. Get him and sue him. What kind of sense does this make? Now, before I go any further down the rabbit hole, let's roll the clip. Because in this clip, you're going to hear a little bit more context behind the lawsuit, what they're going to accomplish or what they're trying to accomplish. Then you're going to hear from a so-called community activist or spokesperson, and you'll see his reaction to the threat from Lori Lightfoot. After we get done watching that, I'll talk about what was said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep, detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Developing tonight, big debate over a new plan to curb violence here in Chicago. Mayor Lori Lightfoot introduced this plan to sue gang members and take their assets. But there's already pushback against the idea. NBC5's Christian Farr has more.
We don't have a gang problem in the city of Chicago. We have a quality of life problem.
There are many in Chicago.
We need to, as a city, be focusing on proven solutions that invest in communities.
Who question Mayor Lori Lightfoot's proposed ordinance to target gang members and their assets as a way to reduce violence in the city. Community activist Jamal Green says this move by the mayor is misguided and says the focus should be on improving disadvantaged communities.
You have to invest in these communities so that they have long-term protection. There is no action that the city can take in one day to stop crime.
Carlisle, 10 shots fired. There's a male shouting gang affiliation.
The mayor's ordinance, which will go after the proceeds from a gang leader's illegal activity, was modeled after Illinois' Street Gang Terrorism Act. The ACLU of Illinois says that state statute has been used in the suburbs and does not work.
And it has been ineffective in collecting any assets from people who were purported to have been in gangs, many of whom weren't actually in gangs.
The proposed ordinance was blocked during today's city council meeting. And after that meeting, the mayor said that the city is working to improve communities and stressed that this ordinance will help with those improvements.
We are going after their blood money that they have profited from the killing of innocents in our neighborhoods.
The proposed ordinance is now delayed, and it will go to a rules committee on Friday. Outside of City Hall, Christian Farr, NBC5 News.
And crime. All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, that's going to be one of the silliest things that I've heard in many years. Let's jump straight to what Lori Lightfoot said, or what she's proposing, talking about, oh, we're going to sue them and then take their assets. What does that sound like to you? Well, to me, that is called civil asset forfeiture. It's an old school thing, been going on for a long time. Basically, what that means, if you don't know, is when, like, let's say, for example, the police raid a dope boy's house and they find all kind of valuable things in there, like guns, which may be legal or illegal. They'll find guns, they'll find cash money, they'll find jewelry, cell phones, televisions, cars are a big thing that gets seized in civil asset forfeiture. And a lot of times these things don't just get seized and held on to in some kind of warehouse. No, they get used. They're sold. Sometimes if you get cash, especially, that gets put into a fund. And I've seen this civil asset forfeiture fund get used for things like improving roads and stuff, depending upon where you are. I'm being serious. Like it's used for like to shore up budgets in certain cities. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what it is. Now, the question is, does Chicago really need money like that? Are they kind of hard up for money? because the only thing you're really going to do with civil asset forfeiture is just make money. You're not going to solve any kind of crime, right? You can also use some of these assets beyond just getting the money and putting that into the roads or whatever. Back when I was a kid, I said I had to have been about 11 or 12 years old. I was in Portsmouth, Virginia with my dad. We riding around. At the time, we're living there. And we're riding around, and I see a Honda Civic painted as a police car. And I'm asking Dad, I'm like, hey, why is that Honda Civic painted as a police car? I mean, because usually when you see police cars, it'll be the same. A Challenger or these big, 45-foot-long Crown Vics. Whatever the car is, it's usually uniform and it's easily identifiable as a police car. You don't really see, souped up Honda Civics, what they call racers, no racist, but you don't see cars like that as police cars. But what he told me was, oh, no, that's over asset forfeiture. What they did was probably take that car from a dope boy and then repurpose the car as a police car. Okay, so you may see a Honda Civic, Cadillac Escalade or whatever now as a police car. But, 4 months ago, you had dope boy Tiny Loke Smooth riding around selling them drugs in that, or just going to the club flossing in that. But different story, and I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole, so I digress. The whole point is that I don't think civil asset forfeiture will do anything to stop crime. I mean, a Honda Civic as a police car, okay, it's still a police car. The person that is going to get put in the back can get put in the back of any kind of car. Why does it even matter that you're doing a civil asset forfeiture? So I kind of agree with the guy a little bit that was responding, talking about this is not going to solve crime. I kind of agree with that, but I don't agree with what he said the solution would be, because he wants money too. The Chicago mayor wants money and he wants it, but she wants it from the dope boys. He wants it from the city. And the funny part is, if they both get their way, the mayor would take money from civil asset forfeiture and give it right back to him. Oh, I mean, the so-called community. When you see these guys, these community activist guys, and talking about, oh, we want money, we want investment, a lot of times they want money for themselves and for their quote-unquote nonprofit organization. That's what it's really about. Because what kind of money can you give the so-called community in Chicago that has been neglected to improve it? As I've said before, Chicago's not some kind of poor city. It's a major city, just like New York, Los Angeles. There's plenty of money there. So why are these areas, the black community or whatever, why are these areas so blighted like this? I don't think it's a lack of resources in the city. There's plenty of that to go around. I think the money part is the least important part. I think if you want to start to reduce the crime, how about having real punishment for your crimes? How about weeding out that corruption? Remember the whole Jussie Smollett situation? That was in Chicago. He was able to evade any kind of criminal action against him for the fake hate hoax because he was connected. Kim Fox, and you got some of the Obamas connected to the Obama here and there, and there's a lot of things like that. Maybe not to the level of Jussie Smollett being able to contact a person with a line to the Obamas. Maybe not quite like that, but there are people who kind of avoid penalties. It'd be the same guys doing the crime over and over again. You're trying to defund the police out there in Chicago, which means there will be fewer police to be able to enforce the law, fewer police to be able to protect citizens, and you're going to have a higher crime rate as a result. So maybe you should focus on things that we know work, like having a law enforcement presence, punishing people appropriately for their crimes, not having these laws that don't even really work. Chicago has the tightest gun laws in the U.S. of A. Chicago by itself, not even necessarily Illinois as a state. I mean, Illinois does as well, but nowhere near the level of Chicago, yet it's a shooting gallery. So what's going on? They need to solve some deeper problems rather than trying to get some cash from a gang. And again, who are you even going to sue? Ain't no business line, ain't no Gangsta Disciples office in downtown on the riverfront or whatever, on the lakefront. Ain't no, that it doesn't exist. So this is just a thing that will ultimately go nowhere. And you saw that they're doing this already in the suburbs with the asset forfeiture. It's not going to do anything. It's not meant to do anything. All that it's meant to do really is just put money in the city's pocket. That's it. And if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. But the problem is, as I close, even if civil asset forfeiture did make a difference, the problem is you're not coupling that with effective policy as far as punishment. So you got these dope boys that get raided, get all the stuff taken, sold, repurposed, or whatever. They get a slap on the wrist or 0 jail time at all. They come right back, do the exact same thing they were doing before they got locked up, and then make all that stuff back. It's a never-ending cycle. So are you trying to really stop crime, or are you trying to get money? Is a guy that was a community activist, is he trying to stop crime, or is he trying to get money? I can't tell, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the proposed plan to sue gangs over the violence in Chicago? Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. This is not going to work. And the asset forfeiture, I don't think is designed to work. It's all about just trying to raise cash. That's it. And fighting crime does not include raising money, whether it be for the city or for some random guy's nonprofit organization. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.